I mean, I was there for a long time. I was in that church for 10 years. And I just wish so much that I wasn't. So I cannot stress enough, like, please, please, please do your own research. If somebody has preached to you, if someone has invited you for a Bible study, make sure you do your research. Don't just believe everything that they say to you. Please don't believe everything that they say to you, because they're going to tell you about the Passover. They're going to tell you that you need it to, escape disasters in World War III. Like, that's like one of the main things they are going to use to get you to get baptized. And I urge you to do your research. Don't feel scared to do that, because they're going to tell you not to do that, because they know that there's things online that you're going to find. And you should find those things, because it should be your choice if you want to join them or not. It shouldn't be by manipulation or by fear that you join this organization. And so I would just, I really encourage those that have been in, that are thinking of leaving, to do your research and have your reasons. And for those that have just been barely preached to and they're looking for information on this church, do your research, because that's what I did. I didn't fully leave before I had left. I did my research and I continued to find things. And I was like, why didn't I do this before I, threw myself into this? I really wish that I would have done the research beforehand. So that would be my final encouragement is to just do your research. You have to, because if you don't, you're going to get sucked in and you're going to believe everything that they tell you. And you're just going to feel scared, anxious. You're not going to feel at peace. You're going to feel drained and completely exhausted, because in the beginning, they just teach you, and then they just continue to pile more on more versus the Sabbath day. Then you got to keep the third day. Then you got to keep all day Sabbath day. Then it's the feast. And it's the Bible studies, and then it's preparation day. And before you know it, you're just spending all your time in this church. And I mean, it's up to you, but I don't want to live my life like that. And that's why I left. And I just didn't want to continue to feel guilty for not spending all of my time there. And it just gets worse. And if you just pile more things on to the duties that they want you to do. I mean, I was in and out of choir, I think like 5 times, because I had no time to practice because I was working. And on top of that, I was supposed to preach. And then on top of that, I was supposed to study. And then it was worse during the feast times, because I was waking up at like 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning, to make 5 a.m.s. And there was just no time to do anything. You're just completely exhausted. And so, I mean, you'll see if you decide to go, but I would really hope that anybody that is being preached to right now, that they look into it, just do some Google searches, look on YouTube, whatever you got to do, but make sure that you make an educated decision before you decide to get baptized and join this church.
Oh. But Sabrina, isn't it eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? Won't they die spiritually if they go to the internet?
Yeah, they're going to tell you that, and they're going to tell you to not look on the internet, and that it is the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and that Satan's going to get to you and all this other stuff. And if you're really spiritual, if you really believe in God and you're really looking for that is going to trap you, because I know that because it trapped me. And so you got to be willing to think critically and be open-minded. And, even if you find things online and you don't necessarily agree with them, or if you have questions or whatever, that's fine. But I don't know that I would necessarily, this is just my personal opinion. If I found something online and you really wanted to go to this church, I personally would not take that information to them, because I can tell you right now, they're going to find a reason to tell you why it's slander. They will. And they'll probably even show you some videos that they have, clipped and put together, as they did when I had supposedly saw the slander, back in 2012. So right. They're going to find a reason. And, so just be ready for that if you decide to do that.
Yeah. And it's worth thinking about, why is it that they are so concerned with people going to the internet? Why is it that they have to tell these stories, these fear-inducing stories about, it's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, or whatever it is, that basically if you look up the church on Google, you're basically on a highway to hell sort of a deal.
Yeah.
And if that's kind of the approach they have to people looking into them and searching out the history and the facts surrounding this church, all that says is that they have something to hide. They're trying to hide something. And so, yeah, as Sabrina said, do your research and don't let their lies and their attempts to make you be afraid of doing your research, don't let that get in your way.
Yeah, I really, I wish that there was a way that I could even educate the people that I've been so close to in the church, because I really don't believe that they are bad people. I just think that they have been severely misled, and it's understandable as to why this information is so believable. But that's why you have to do your research before you get very sucked in and you give your life away to this organization, because that's what they're going to try to get you to do.
Yeah.
They want to build you up and make you a unit leader and have you teach and do all the preaching practice, and it gets crazy. It gets crazy, and it will take up a lot of your time. I've heard stories of parents not being able to celebrate their children's birthday during a certain time because that was the preaching time. It will impact your life in a way that you never thought anything would before. So really take your time before you make the decision to join.